Hi everybody, Coach Keith here with the last video for the big form movements, the barbell row. Hi everybody, Coach Keith here with the last installment in the big form movement series. Today we're going to be talking about the barbell row. Guys, if you haven't seen the previous videos, check them out with the links in the description. For now, we'll go over a quick recap of the 4 movement patterns that every training program needs. The 4 movement patterns are going to be the squat, the hip hinge, the press, and the row. So let's get into why we need the barbell row. When you're training the squat and the hip hinge, you're training the quadriceps and the hamstrings, the front and back of the legs. Our muscles work together. So just like your biceps and your triceps, if you were to flex your bicep and your tricep didn't exist, you could never extend your arm back to a straight position. Because our muscles work together, we need the opposing muscle to properly move our muscles through their ranges of motion. So what will happen is you'll see a lot of guys who concentrate on just the powerlifting movements, which are the squat, the hip hinge, and the bench press. And they won't do any rowing or nearly enough rowing. And we'll see those guys all the time at the gym because they'll end up looking like this. Their shoulders will be pulled forward, they'll be rounded over at the spine, they'll have terrible posture, end up with shoulder impingement, and a lot of other problems. So, we need the barbell row for biomechanical balance, front to back. If we're going to be doing all kinds of extension that's driven by the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps, then we need to have an equal amount of retraction, which is going to be driven primarily by the lats. So that's going to be the main reason that we need the barbell row and rowing variations in. So let's look at the second reason the barbell row is important. The barbell row is going to give us incredible lat development. And a lot of people will say that they're already deadlifting, so therefore they're already getting lat development. When you deadlift, you're only getting your lats in a static position. So the lats aren't actually stretching and contracting through their range of motion. They're just staying static. Guys, I'll cut in a video here so you can see the lats move through their entire range of motion. And as you'll see in a deadlifting video, you'll see that the lats do not move. The arms are pinned at the sides as you move through the deadlift. So your lats are only stationary. The third thing that the barbell row is going to give us is going to be core stability. And yes, the deadlift does give us some core stability, but especially as people get stronger, they're lifting less and less repetitions. So there becomes less and less time under tension for the core. Whereas the barbell row is ideally suited to sets of 10, sets of 12, sets of 15, and the entire time you're performing the movement, you need to have your core braced, your lower back tight, your spinal erectors braced, and this is going to create a massive amount of core stability, which should be foundational in every training program. Because not only is that going to transfer to all of our big lifts like the deadlift and the squat, it's going to transfer to everyday life. Because you don't want to throw your back out tying your shoe. Next part of the video, we're going to get into the common mistakes that I see, and then we'll break down the form step by step, so that way you guys know exactly how to perform a barbell row correctly. First, let's go over what not to do. Gym Bro Joe here is going to use his legs, lower back, and violent momentum to swing a bar with way too much weight on it up towards his lower stomach. Here, he's going to be way too upright, doing short T-Rex arm-like shrugging movements. And finally, the slip disc. Now, you know that was a joke, guys, but if you've been in a gym for any length of time, you probably actually have seen guys do movements for the barbell row that look similar to those. Make sure that you're keeping these strict. I hear complaints all the time of, oh, the lower back injuries that come with barbell rows. If you're doing them like that, I guarantee you will end up with a lower back injury sooner or later. It doesn't take a whole lot of weight on these. Most people dramatically overestimate the amount of weight that they're capable of lifting. A good rule of thumb is to use a working weight that's 1/3 of what your deadlift is. So if you're a 600-pound deadlifter, you're probably only going to barbell row 200 pounds. And that's not even 2 plates on each side. So make sure that you keep the reps strict and the weight low enough that you can actually handle doing the right form. Now let's see how to do it right. Approach the bar and take a shoulder width stance. When I look down, I want to see the front 2 laces of my shoe. This tells me my foot is centered directly under the bar. Begin the descent by bracing your core, then pushing your hips back. Imagine reaching an invisible wall behind you and trying to touch it with your butt. Keep your core braced the entire time. Once your hamstrings are fully stretched, bend at the knee until your hands can reach the bar. Once your hands are on the bar, set your lats by shoving your arms against your armpits, then pulling your shoulders down and back. Start the row by squeezing the bar, then driving the elbows back behind the body. Touch the bar to the top of the stomach, just below the chest. If a barbell is uncomfortable for your shoulders, an alternative to the bar is to do a 2-arm dumbbell row, as shown here. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Leave your questions in the comments section below, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and a share. Check out AmericanIronTraining.com for workout programs and apparel. I appreciate everybody's support. Thanks for watching.